Welcome to The Balance Era, a podcast for the women rewriting the rules. Here, we leave behind the pressure to be perfect and step into a life built on self-love, softness, strength, and intention. I'm your host, Madison, a former overachiever, fitness girl, and lifelong perfectionist, learning how to slow down, show up, and trust myself again. Each week, we'll be talking about what it really means to live in alignment, from body image and burnout to confidence, femininity, and chasing big dreams without losing yourself in the process. This is your space to breathe, to feel seen, and to remember you don't have to choose between ambition and peace. Welcome to the Balance Era. You're right on time. Hello, welcome back to another episode of the Balance Era podcast. I am so excited to have you here. Today, I wanted to talk about the importance of showing up for yourself even when you don't feel like it. I made a TikTok this morning and I wanted to kind of elaborate on it more because it's something that I have learned a lot about, and I have changed the ways that I show up for myself, especially on my hard days. So I want to share that with you all and the importance of showing up for yourself even when you're not feeling like it. And yeah, so let's just dive right in. In the past, when I used to have a bad day, I would let myself just wallow in my sorrows and self-pity and just sit in bed, watch Netflix, and eat chocolates, and just give myself the excuse to be like bum out, I guess, essentially is the term, but just to be lazy and allow myself to mope around and be sad, which there's a time and a place for that, but I've learned the power of showing up for yourself in these moments. I actually made a YouTube video a few months ago when I was having a bad day. I was just really overthinking that day. And as I've learned over the years, like allowing myself to sit in the overthinking, spiraling thoughts does not make me feel better. And so getting up and actually doing something about it does help me. So I filmed that video that day. And I think I titled the video like I had a bad day or something like that. But I talked to the camera for like 20 minutes about whatever it was I was stressing about that day. And then I was like, okay, even though I don't want to right now, I'm going to get up, make a healthy, nutritious meal, tidy the apartment for a little bit, and then journal to get my thoughts out, and then I can relax. Because those are all ways that I show up for myself, even in the moment when I'm not feeling like it. So like showing up for myself and doing the things that I need to do. And I made that video, and I'm really proud that I did because I felt like silly recording myself when I was having a bad day. I was like, just show up when you're ready. But I realized I needed to show the good and the bad. And like that was a bad day that I was having, but I could choose to take care of myself anyways. And so I made that video to, I guess, in hopes to just like inspire the viewers to also take care of themselves when they're struggling. But I realized that it's not something that a lot of people do because we don't really talk about it, but it's something that I have learned a lot about, especially over the past couple of years, just learning how to navigate my emotions and take care of myself and show up even on my bad days. And showing up for yourself on your bad days does not mean like going to the gym every single day and being the most productive person ever, especially when you're feeling like crap, but it is honoring the commitments that you've made to yourself. Because if you don't take yourself serious and you don't keep your word to yourself, then you can't expect others to take you serious or keep their word to you. So it's honestly just a form of self-respect. So if you say, I'm going to get up in the morning and go to the gym, you bet your butt you're going to get up and go to the gym. Because when you do that, you're showing your brain that I am someone that does what I say I'm going to do. And it makes you take yourself seriously. But if you tend to set commitments for yourself, like, oh, I'll start going to the gym tomorrow, I'll start eating healthy tomorrow, I'll start doing this, doing that, and you don't do it, your mind doesn't take you serious. Let's talk a little bit about why it feels hard to show up on bad days. And the first thing that I want to talk about is the all or nothing mindset, which is the biggest setback that I see so many people struggle with. I feel like a lot of people have the, I'll start on Monday mindset because it's a form of procrastination and not doing it in this moment. A lot of people think if I can't do it all or if I can't do it perfect and it's not worth doing. But in those moments is when small action matters the most. And I am someone that has struggled with this in the past, and I still have days where I want to do everything perfect, and I'm like, ooh, like I just don't want to do anything because it's not going to be perfect. But I've learned when I show up in those moments, that is the most empowering thing that I can do for myself, and I am always so grateful afterwards when I did choose to show up for myself. Because if you're wanting to achieve a goal, whether it's lose some weight, start eating healthier, start building your business, whatever it is, baby steps are what are going to get you there. It's not the huge, big, productive days, but the small things that compound over time. But if you're in the mindset of, I have to do it all, I have to do it perfect, otherwise I'm not going to do it, you're not going to get anything done. So in that mindset for the gym, if you're wanting to lose weight, have a plan of, I need to go do these workouts and make a commitment to yourself to get them done ahead of time. So know that you are going to go to the gym 4 days this week before you go into work and commit to that. And you know the importance of committing to yourself and taking yourself serious and doing the things that you say that you're going to do. So you know that you're going to show up even when you wake up in the morning, and you know that you're going to be a little tired because it's earlier than usual. But obviously, prioritize rest as well. I'm not saying don't sleep at all. But in the beginning, when you're trying to start waking up earlier to go to the gym in the morning, it's okay if for 2 or 3 days, you're forcing yourself to wake up earlier, even if you didn't get as much sleep, because you'll be training your body to wake up earlier. So then your body will be tired and ready for bed earlier. So I guess just be aware, you will be tired when you wake up, but you need to get your butt out of bed and do it, because relying on emotion in those moments is what is going to keep you stuck. And honestly, relying on your emotion in any situation is a terrible thing to do. I think you need to be proactive instead of reactive, because if you're reactive, you're not really in control, because you haven't really had time to think it out and plan, this is how I'm going to show up. This is what I'm going to do. This is how I take care of myself. This is the person that I am. And I think that one of the most important things that you can be is someone that keeps their word to themselves. And when I talk about having a bad day or feeling bad, I'm not talking about when you're really sick and you really can't get out of bed. On those days, if you're really, really sick, like stomach bug or flu, stay in bed. That's totally fine. But the days where you're having a bad mental health day, or even if you have a light cold and all you want to do is just stay in bed and bed rot, but you know that at the end of that day, you're going to feel like, crap, I didn't do anything today and I feel bad about it. Those are the days that I'm talking about. Those are the days that I'm like, okay, we got to show up for you no matter what. In the TikTok that I made this morning, I gave the example of okay, I wake up and I have a bad attitude about this day. I just don't want to do anything. So I want to stay in bed and bed rot and do nothing. But I know that I feel bad doing that. And I feel bad by the end of the day because I got nothing done. So even though I want to have a bed rot day, first I'm going to get up, put on a little workout outfit, and go on a walk. Just walk outside, even for 5 minutes, just to get the fresh air and get your body moving. Because those two things combined are just so powerful. So getting outside, getting some fresh air is what you're going to do on those hard days. And then you're going to come home and you're going to have a nutritious meal, something that's going to make you feel good. And after you do those two things, if you still feel like you want to bed rot, totally fine. Allow yourself to have that moment and feel those feelings. I also recommend journaling a little bit just to process whatever emotions you're feeling, or just kind of document what you're feeling. So I also like to do voice memos, because some days when I just have so much on my mind and I don't want to journal because I know that my hand is going to literally cramp up because I have so much going on in my mind, I will pull up my phone and record voice memos and just talk to myself and talk myself through it, because it's really helpful to get whatever is going on inside your mind out of it, because we can feel so stuck and consumed with these things if we don't process them. And honestly, I prefer to do this over talking with people about it, because sometimes it is nice to get a secondary opinion, but a lot of the times I feel like when we need to word vomit and just get these things out. Like, it's better to do it with yourself so you can say everything you need to say and get it all off your chest without, expressing that to someone else. And then you can listen to your voice memo back and be like, okay, is this right? Like, just kind of like process what you are feeling, but like listen to it, if that makes any sense. I don't know. I just like to do a voice memo sometimes. So I have some long voice memos on my phone of me just talking through whatever spiraling moment I'm having. But I always feel better after that, because what I realized is that sometimes when I was wanting to talk to someone else about whatever I was thinking about, I didn't actually want advice. I just wanted to talk about it. And I'm like, okay, how about I talk to myself about it instead? Because that way I'm not airing out all of my business to anyone else, and I'm allowing myself to get it off my chest. And I always feel better getting it off of my chest anyways. So yeah, my TikTok this morning was just about taking care of yourself by going on a walk, eating a nutritious meal, and then if you still feel like you want to bed rot, do that. But honestly, once you start taking those baby steps, or I think they're called like micro actions is the proper term, but with showing up and going on a walk, even if it's just 5 minutes, or eating a meal that's slightly more nutritious, those habits can stack up and kind of build momentum and help to get you out of that rut. And for me, that's what happens a lot of the time. Even if I'm having a hard day, like a hard morning, I still show up and do these small things for myself. And I kind of end up getting myself out of that rut and out of that mood, because when I get inspired and then I'm proud of myself for showing up even when I didn't feel like it, and it really helps to just get the ball rolling. But if you're in a really bad rut day and you're like, man, I still feel like crap after I went on my walk and had my nutritious meal and journaled or talked it out, then I am going to allow myself to have a day where I just sit in bed and relax and reset. But a lot of the times it helps, and you end up not feeling as bad because you started to do something that takes care of you and to make you feel better. And when you show up in those moments when you're not feeling like it, even if everything is not going perfect and not how you envisioned, but you still find a way to show up for yourself, it builds self-trust. Because you are showing yourself that I am someone that can take care of myself, whether I'm feeling good or bad. Because it's easy to show up for yourself when you're feeling good and motivated, and you hit your workouts and eat your healthy meals, and everything is good when you're feeling inspired and happy. But those days when you're feeling like crap, like mentally, and you're sort of just like, I can't do this today, I don't feel motivated, I feel sad, I feel mad, whatever it is, I'm just going to stay in bed and bed rot. When you choose to do something that is good for you anyways and show up and take care of you, even when you're feeling bad, that is the most empowering thing that you can do. Because it's showing yourself that I take care of me no matter what. And your job is to take care of yourself. So when you can take care of yourself, even when it's hard and inconvenient, like I said, it's building self-trust with you. And there are going to be days where you really do just need to relax and reset. But this is where you need to be honest with yourself, because there's a difference between self-compassion and self-sabotage. And so it's like giving yourself grace on a day where you did get really poor sleep, and so you wake up in the morning and you're like, I am exhausted, I don't want to go to the gym. So in that moment you decide, okay, well, I'm not going to get my lift in today, but I'm still going to move my body a little bit because it makes me feel good. So I'm going to go to the gym and I'm going to walk and then sit in the sauna and stretch. So that way you're still showing up and doing something for yourself, but you're not doing an intense workout and pushing yourself through that when you're not fully recovered. But you're showing up as someone that takes care of themselves anyways. So it's the idea of like, yes, you're tired, but let's just do this one small thing so that we can still move forward and take baby steps. Because it's like what is it called? Like the moving the needle tasks that are the small things. If you do these small things every single day, even when you're not feeling like it, and showing up for yourself, it builds that momentum and builds that self-trust, which is what you need in order to keep showing up. Pushing through the hard times, because there will always be hard times that come and go. It's all about how you take care of yourself in that moment. And it can be hard to be honest with yourself when you're like, dang, I really don't want to go to the gym today. But when you can be honest with yourself and be like, okay, am I actually not recovered? Like, am I going to allow myself to have a lighter day so I can just walk and do the sauna? Or am I just being lazy and not wanting to do it? Because if you can push through that self-sabotage behavior of just not wanting to do it for the sake of not doing it, if you can push through that and still show up, that is so empowering. For me, I've had so many days because I've lifted for almost 5 years now. I think it'll be 5 years in November. And so there have been days where I don't want to go to the gym. I'm like, the gym is the last place that I want to be. Not because my body is tired, but because the gym is the last place I want to be. Like, I just don't want to go to the gym. And I'd rather just stay at home and be in my pajamas and relax. But when I decide to put on my gym clothes anyways and go to the gym and get a workout in, I end up having the best workouts. And I always feel so amazing after because it's like, oh my gosh, I really did not want to go. I really wanted to just talk myself out of it and allow myself to be a bum today. But I pushed through that and I showed up and I had the best workout. And it makes you so proud of yourself. And it also reaffirms that identity that, you know, I am someone that does the things that I say I'm going to do. I am someone that takes care of myself. I am someone that can push through the hard things. And I'm not saying push through and ignore the hard things, but I'm saying push through the desire to stay in your comfort zone in the challenging times instead of continuing to push forward. Because when you can prove to yourself that you're someone that is strong enough to do all of those things, like I said, it is the most empowering thing, and it just reaffirms that identity, which is so important for your mind. So it's all about building the identity of showing up with someone who takes care of themselves no matter what. It's not about this single action like the 5-minute walk that you went on or the slightly more nutritious meal that you opted for. It's not just about that single action, but it's about who you are becoming when you're doing that, because you're building evidence in your mind that you can rely on yourself and that you are resilient and consistent and that you are able to stick to the things that you need to get done even when you don't feel like it. And also, when you push through these hard times and you still show up for yourself and you can celebrate these moments of like, okay, wow, I did not want to go do that today. I did not want to go to the gym. I did not want to eat a healthier meal today. I did not want to go do my journal, but I did it anyways. If you can acknowledge that you showed up for yourself even when it wasn't easy and celebrate that, it is so empowering. And like I mentioned, your bad days are actually the most important days to show up. It's the days where you feel like, I want to skip everything. I just want to be lazy. I just want to not do anything today, but you still show up as someone who takes care of their priorities and gets the stuff done that needs to get done. When you are showing up as someone that is consistent and that can depend on themselves, that is so important. And I want you to feel this for yourself because you will understand what I'm saying. Because if you haven't done this yet, you're probably just like, wow, she's talking a lot of nonsense. But I promise you, after listening to this, next time you're having a hard day and you have the opportunity to choose between I'm going to skip this and I'll start tomorrow, or what is one small thing that I can do in this moment that is an act of self-love and an act of respect towards myself that is going to help me show up in this moment, you are going to know that feeling that I'm talking about. And you're going to be so proud because it gives you the confidence to show up the next time when you're feeling bad. And this, I don't know, this might be a little bit weird, but I've trained my mind to be able to see the good in all things. And that's just through practicing gratitude every day and practicing an abundant mindset and all of that. But the bad days where I feel like crap, like I've built the discipline for myself to show up. So it's not the hard thing that I have to do. Like, I know that I'm going to do it no matter what. But I kind of enjoy these days in a sense because I know in that moment I feel like crap, but I know that future me is going to look back in this moment and be like, wow, I am so proud that even though she felt bad, she showed up for herself. She cared for herself, and that is so cool. And I am so cool, and I am awesome because I am her. And so I find a way to be happy even in that moment when I'm feeling like crap. Even when I don't want to show up for myself, I know that I'm still going to. And I know that future me is going to look back and be like, I am so proud of her. Because those days that I used to have where I would feel so bad and I would allow myself to sit in bed and bed rot, I would feel so much worse about myself because I'm like, wow, you didn't do anything for yourself. You didn't help yourself at all in that moment. And in that moment is when you needed to help yourself. You needed to treat yourself with love and respect because that was a hard day for you. And also defining what showing up with love and respect for yourself is, because it's different for everyone. But for me, moving my body a little bit, like when I get to go on a walk, I feel so much more mentally clear, and just getting some fresh air really helps to get a different perspective, I guess, on whatever it is that I'm thinking about. And eating foods that make me feel good on my bad days is one of the best things that I can do, because in my mind, I'm like, okay, if I'm already feeling bad, why would I make myself feel worse by eating food that's going to make me feel bad? Because if it makes me feel bad when I eat it, and then I'm going to beat myself up and be like looking back and like, wow, just feeling really sorry for myself. So like when I would allow myself to eat a full pint of ice cream, like I haven't done that in a long time, but if you look back in that moment and it makes you kind of feel bad about yourself because you're like, wow, why couldn't I pull through in that moment? So one thing that I like to do when I'm having a hard day is to eat a nutritious meal, because I'm like, okay, wow, I am showing up as someone that fuels her body with foods that make her feel good and treats her body with love and respect. And I think in that YouTube video that I made, I think I made chicken, rice, and veggies because that's like a staple meal for me. I do chicken thighs and I love them. They're so good. But I had made that meal and I felt proud of myself because in that moment I chose to do something for myself with love instead of being mopey and making myself feel worse. And as you guys know, I am someone that likes to journal and get my thoughts out of my mind because my mind can be a crazy place at times. And if you have so many thoughts going on and you don't really process them or close the tabs like we talked about in last week's episode, if you don't allow yourself to just process whatever is going on in your mind can be such an overwhelming place. And so on those days when you're already feeling bad, like just being able to get some of those thoughts out through journaling or voice memos, like I mentioned, is the best way to clear up that mental clutter. And it's just good to quiet the noise a little bit. So the 3 things that I do on my hard days are moving my body, just a walk if I can, if that helps me. And then honestly, if that helps me feel better, I will probably go hit a workout then too, because I'm like, okay, I'm already feeling good and moving and grooving, and then fueling my body with nutritious foods and journaling or doing voice memos and just getting the thoughts out of my mind just makes me feel so much better. So to recap today's episode, showing up does not have to be perfect every single day. It just has to be consistent. And so showing up for yourself, even on your hard days, even if it's just baby steps, like going for a 5-minute walk, eating a nutritious meal that's slightly better than what you were going to choose, or just journaling, getting your thoughts out. When you show up as someone consistently that does that and takes care of yourself, you become someone that takes care of themselves and honors their word to themselves. And that is the best thing that you can do. If you feel like sharing, you can definitely send me a DM this week and let me know one way that you're going to show up for yourself this week, because I would love to hear and I would love to cheer you on. If you take one thing from this episode, let it be that you are worth showing up for, because your job is to take care of you. Show yourself some love. And when you can take care of yourself, even in the moments when you don't feel like doing it, that is the most amazing thing that you can do. I hope you all have a great week, and I will talk to you next week. Bye.